Gosmarinum more blue cows patient updates abuse in Govardhana. The cow's man-made enemy ready for a trip to the Mathura Veterinary College. During a physiotherapy session, Dr. Lavanya slowly administers magnesium 4 polythene, cow's man-made enemy tucked in for the night. Gokarna rests peacefully, an emblem of courage and determination. Gokarna has been at CFC for 9 weeks and most of that time he's been in need of medical care for various illnesses. Featuring in the August CFC newsletter with his recovery from a long night of seizures and fits, Gokarna became stronger and mobile over the next few weeks. But then one day he could not stand on his own properly and he would fall down if another calf brushed by him. Gokarna was taken to the Mathura Veterinary College for a checkup and doctors suspected there were foreign objects in his rumen, most likely ingested polythene bags, that cannot be passed out of the system, and cannot break down on their own. Discarded plastic bags are a major health hazard for cows rummaging through rubbish heaps in Vrindavan. Surgery was suggested to remove the foreign objects, but it was not advisable until Gokarna recovered more strength to bear the stress of an operation. Meantime, blood tests were run and Gokarna was thereafter treated for a blood infection shown up in the test results. Dr. R.P. Pandey of Mathura Vet College set up a week-long program of dextrose drips, vitamin and mineral shots and digestive tonics to help Gokarna regain strength. Pavan, one of CFC medical assistants, took up the responsibility of Gokarna's full-time carer, administering his medication, assisting him while standing up 3 times a day, physio twice a day, passive exercise, massage and feeding. After the week-long effort of supportive therapy, Gokarna's condition was much the same and surgery was again deferred by his doctor. For 4 weeks Gokarna and Pavan continued with their daily routine, and Dr. Lavanya took on the challenge to try and save Gokarna, coming to the Goshala almost every day to monitor and treat him. Some days Gokarna was down with fever and too weak to stand, then other days he seemed brighter and had renewed strength and a good appetite, which gave us all hope. After 1 month of trying practically everything, and seeing Gokarna's deteriorating condition, doctors advised that he may not recover. Dr. Lavanya commented that if it were not for the love and care Gokarna was receiving, he would not have made it this far. The doctor advised that now surgery was Gokarna's only chance of survival. His surgery is scheduled for early October, and meantime he's on a booster program so he will have the maximum strength for recovery. Meet Maharani. Maharani upon arrival in May 2002 relaxing in the barnyard. A natural leader. Maharani is our 7-year-old powerhouse, one of the most dynamic cows in the herd. In 2002 she had a miscarriage followed by a vagina prolapse and a vet told her Vrajabasai owner that she would not be able to bear offspring. Thus she sadly brought Maharani to care for cows and asked that we look after her. Because of her natural beauty and her gentle nature, Maharani soon became the favorite of the cowherd men. We soon noticed that besides the gentle side she showed to people, she had another side which was domineering towards other members of the herd and which very soon established her as a leader. She was wise enough, however, not to challenge Krishna and carefully formed an alliance with him. Dr. Lavanya regularly treated her prolapse and after a year it was corrected. Other than that she has always been perfectly healthy and extremely energetic. Like a natural athlete she seizes every opportunity to exercise and strengthen her neck and legs. Sparring with Padmalakana and the other bulls is her favorite activity. Nandi was her best match, see the March 2006 issue. After the morning feeding she often becomes animated and sprints around the 1-acre resting pen or in the field on the hill. She struts and jumps, scourges the earth with her hooves and horns or seeks out suitable challengers to spar with. Her enthusiasm for exercise often incites the rest of the herd into a short frolicking stampede. Maharani in action. Gauranga, another charming character at CFC, has a lanky kind of walk, and stands with a pose much like a model. On closer inspection of his hips it is possible that he has broken his pelvis at some stage, being involved in an accident, and so his hip bones are a little out of place, one higher than the other. To compensate for the difference in height, one of his ankles has dropped low to the ground, and the tendons have overstretched. To help his tendons recover, Gauranga's ankle has been set straight in a PVC cast for a month or so. After a few attempts of trying to shake the cast off his foot, he is now accustomed to it and is moving around quite well. Life on the streets rescue at Davanalakund. One morning our good friend Dr. Lavanya saw an abandoned cow in the neighborhood surrounding Davanalakunda. She was emaciated and had several abrasions, the most serious being under her tail. He asked some standers-by to restrain her while he removed the many maggots from her deep wounds and doused the cow with disinfectant. He knew, however, that if the cow was not protected and administered ongoing treatment, crows would continue pecking at the wounds and it would be a matter of hours before flies again infested her with larvae. He called us and asked for help, and we were happy as it gave us an maggot-infested wounds around the tail area and clusters of ticks inside the ears and over the entire body. The new patient is offered a welcoming snack, a disinfectant scrub and a new skirt to keep the crows from pecking her wounds. Opportunity to use our modest ambulance, which had just been donated by a servant of Radha Mohan. Upon arrival, several men sipping tea under a large neem tree bordering the kunda were happy to learn that the cow was going to be cared for and readily offered assistance. While she is at least 4 years old, it took only 3 men to load her on the truck since she is only skin and bones. While loading her, we noticed that her entire coat was covered with clusters of countless ticks, draining her of the little life she had left. Healthy cows have a sweet fragrance, but this sorry one smelled of rotting flesh covered with dysentery. She was first given a thorough bath with a solution to eliminate the ticks so the rest of the herd would not be infected. Since the wounds under her tail could not be dressed, we made her a skirt to ward off the flies and crows. Then she was offered all the nourishing food she could eat. Fluid began to collect under her jaw between her chin and neck, which is a symptom of anemia. Dr. Lanavia ordered that her wounds should be cleansed daily and that she be allowed to eat as much as she wants. She has been named Davanala Devi, and we hope this gentle creature will continue her rapid improvement and stay with us the rest of her life. The genital area of the cow is one of the fastest areas to heal fluid, indicating anemia. Did you know cows have cloven hooves? In galloping through boggy places or in deep mud, cows can distance a horse. Their toes spread, and therefore their wide feet do not sink so deep as do those of the solid-hoofed horse. Furthermore, the cleft between the toes permits the air to enter the hole in the mud as the foot is raised, whereas the horse must overcome a partial vacuum when it withdraws its hoof, and so wastes considerable muscular effort beside having its speed retarded and its self-confidence shaken. Gosmaranam Asthakalia Lila. This is the second of a series of 8 photo essays illustrating the daily activities of cows. We hope this serves to endear them to you. Meditating on the 8-fold daily pastimes of cows. Sparring. Sparring is an activity cows and bulls perform from infancy to old age. It is a form of exercise as well as a method to determine their place in the herd hierarchy. Sparring usually takes place between 2 contestants, but we have observed group bouts with as many as 5. The general procedure is that the challenger stands opposite his rival and butts his head against his. Sometimes this is preceded by snorting and scratching the ground with the front hooves. The same procedure takes place in an actual fight, but in sparring there is no attempt to hurt or injure the opponent, only to establish who is stronger and more agile. While the size of the horns play an important part, stamina, competitive spirit, desire to dominate, and fortitude most often determine the victor. Those sparring matches that take place between younger and older, or smaller and larger bovines, are akin to training lessons. The young calves who regularly spar with older and stronger rivals who they can't possibly defeat learn the art quickly and are destined to become the future champions. When the contestants are equally matched and both have a domineering nature, there is every chance the bout can turn into a heated fight where broken horns, gorging or gouging of the eyes can result. In such cases, an effective way to break up the fight is to douse the combatants with 1 or more buckets of water. In our herd, heated battles rarely occur. More often sparring begins by gentle butting of heads and ends in smooching. Care for cows in Vrindavan. Braja's leg on arrival. 6 months of multiple casts. Today Braja is celebrating with his treatment successfully completed 6 months of care abuse in Govardhana. Maya Prashandra, Champakalata, and their daughter Padmavati, formerly of North Carolina, now reside in Govardhana and have taken an interest in cow protection. They are maintaining several stray calves in front of their home and recently rescued a severely abused calf and brought her to CFC and named her Radhi Shyama. What follows is Champakalata's report. We brought a female calf from Govardhana to care for cows in the beginning of September. Her owner was a lady who beat her cow in the face for upsetting a water bucket. Champakalata and Radhi Shyama. Upon arrival from Govardhana village, the calf is severely malnourished. She was never allowed to drink a sufficient quantity of milk. Radhi Shyama was allowed to nurse for approximately 20 seconds, only enough time to inspire her mother to release her milk. Then after the udder had been squeezed dry by the owner, she was permitted to nurse for another minute. A couple of times I watched horrified as her owners dragged her on her knees away from her mother when her legs had buckled under her. She was so weak that once she had fallen or sat down, she was unable to get up on her own. Her owners would yell and beat her to force her to rise. And if that didn't work, they would just drag her. The lacerations, scrapes and scars all over her legs indicate that this was common procedure. The calf's own mother never showed her any affection. It's as if the mother had also experienced similarly callous treatment to the point that she simply didn't know how to give affection. Or maybe she was shielding herself from the pain of watching her baby being so horribly mistreated. If she just looked away and pretended that the decrepit, scrawny little thing didn't exist, she could spare herself the torment of her calf's sorry plight. One morning, I was horrified to find Radhi Shyama lying sprawled across the ground as if dead. Her mother was no longer giving milk, so the owners had untied the calf. Oh, did I mention that they previously had her tied to such a short leash that she was unable to lift her head when standing? But where would she go? She was too weak to even stand on her own. The owner lady fed me a sob story about how the calf had always been sick and how she had stayed up night after night trying to nurse her back to health. She told me that now the calf had broken her leg, which is why she lay on the ground looking half dead. When I asked her if she would call a doctor, she suddenly changed her story, minimizing the calf's needs. It was obvious that she intended to do nothing except yell some more, and this only prompted the little calf to jerk in terror until she finally managed to get to in sitting position. We called Care for Cows, and after a relatively eventless journey we brought our sorry little load to a sanctuary of peace, love, and care. As soon as she arrived, we discovered her leg was not broken and she spent about an hour eating. She didn't seem terribly sick, but that first night, she came down with fever and has been struggling with one ailment after another since. Thanks to the medical staff and the many supporters around the world, Radhi Shyama now has a chance for a peaceful, healthy life. Upon arrival, Radhi Shyama was given a disinfecting bath and thorough grooming. Next, several abrasions on her body were attended to. We noticed a minor eye injury which Dr. Lavanya treated with a delicate injection and it cleared up. Of greatest concern is that pus is gathering in a large abscess spanning the whole side of her face. Drs. Lavanya and Pandey have drained the abscess and removed all dead tissue from the cavity. We are expecting it to heal soon. Most encouraging is that Radhi Shyama has a great appetite. On behalf of CFC, Prem Sagar officially congratulates Champakalata for rescuing Radhi Shyama. Patient update: when Gauri Priya arrived in August, she had at least 20 small cuts and abrasions all over her body and 2 more serious leg wounds, part of growing up on the street in a busy market area. After 6 weeks of care, most of her small wounds have disappeared, her leg wounds are healing well, and she has a soft, healthy new coat of hair growing. Though the baby of our herd, she is completely fearless, very easygoing, and a favorite of all visitors. Always wanting to be where the action is, she likes to sit by the roadside fence where she receives lots of attention from passing pedestrians. Back leg wound before and after above photos. Front leg wound before and after above photos. More blue cows. Radhika canine teeth marks being fed milk with a syringe. Recovering Janardana and Radhika get to know each other this month. Different villagers brought us 2 infant Nilgai, blue cows. The female Radhika lost her mother and in a frantic search for milk made a pact with a village cow. Janardana's mother was hit and killed by a train and while in shock, seized in a death grip by a hungry dog. Upon arrival his throat was so swollen he could not nurse, so he had to be fed with a syringe. Both are now healthy and getting adjusted. Our calves curiously inspect Radhika and then welcome her with licking. The two new calves with Van Krishna. These deer or antelope are called blue cows as they turn grayish blue when they reach adulthood. Below is a photo of a full-grown Nilgai bull who weighs in at approximately 900 kilos. Only the bulls develop horns. Celebrate Gopashtami and Govardhan Puja with care for cows. Gopal, December 5, 2004. Gopal sends his thanks to Radha Sakti, Italy. Here's how to find us, and Vilasa Manjari, Australia, for making it possible for him to become strong and happy. Thank you from the cows. May cows stay in front of me, may cows stay behind me, may cows stay on both sides of me. May I always reside in the midst of cows. Hari Bhaktivila 16.252. The cows send their wholehearted thanks to all of you who assisted during August to feed, sponsor, contribute to the Lifelong Maintenance Fund, donate medical supplies and offer good advice. Radha Jivan Dasa, USA Suresh Vajiani, UK Rohini Devi Dasi, Kenya Jess Vincent, USA Akanath Dasa, USA Nalini Kanta Dasa, USA Prem Sujan, USA Devanarayana Dasa, Canada Shama Bharath, South Africa Budhai Manta Dasa, New Zealand Mariana Polanski, USA Dina Sarana Dasa, USA Prasanna Sita Dasa, USA Jaitri Paul, USA AC Ikunda, Australia Hamsarapa Dasa, USA Anonymous, Singapore Alex, Shilpa, Devika Yavina, UK Eric Hudson, USA Katyayani Dd, USA Sasha Dingas, Germany, on behalf of Herman and Yvonne. Schwalm Ryan Co and JB Harry, Netherlands Netananda Rama Dasa, USA Daniel Lafleur, Denmark Nalini Gager, Netherlands Joris Moss, Netherlands Karunika Dasi, New Zealand Harry Priya Dasi. New Zealand Sastra Dasa, USA Bhakta Jason, Australia Uttamakate Anya Dasa, Malaysia Nepali Arjuna, UK Radha Karan, Krishnamai and Janaki, Poland.